Hello, hello, everyone. I'm here today talking with Denise Hughes, and we are talking about movement medicine and restoration sessions. And Denise, thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited to talk to you today.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the invitation. I'm excited to be here today too.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, it was about a year ago, wasn't it, that you and I did some work together? And can you set the stage for us? Like, what was happening in your life and in your body at the time that we started doing the therapeutic yoga together for you?
Right. And so let's see. April 1st last year, I had a total left hip replacement. And it was my second hip replacement. And then I had finished completing physical therapy. And had noticed that I had a neuropathy that was worsening on my left foot. And also, I already had a neuropathy on my right foot. And my movement was, I think, good. And you and I had talked and we explored the therapeutic yoga might be beneficial, especially after physical therapy was over.
Yeah.
And that kind of set the stage. So I was really looking for exploration of that neuropathy to see if therapeutic yoga could help support that. And then I was also looking for some stabilization of the left hip because, it really, well, if my left hip was anything like my right hip replacement, it actually took a full year for the body to recover. And And so I didn't really know what therapeutic yoga was or what was involved, even though I have been a student of yoga for decades. And so I really appreciated your invitation
Mm,
to try it out and see what would happen.
mm,
Yeah.
yeah. Now, can I also add a little more context to this as well? Like, because you were also in the middle of retiring from
Yeah.
your main, what you've done in
Right.
addition to being
Nurse.
a
Right.
coach. But as a nurse, you were getting ready to
Right.
retire, so there was, like, also that going on too. Like, I wanna put that in the mix because I know that what's happening in our lives is that's in the room with us, right? When we're doing this kind of recovery and healing work, and I know you were living into some questions about that too.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, to go into the psychology more of what was happening for me, I would say that I had my body was carrying a lot of ambivalence
Mm,
because I was in this transition or on the cusp of it. And I was looking forward to retiring, but also I was grieving. I would be losing my work family and then my part of my identity and then what was life going to be like. And
mm,
even though I had so many things to look forward to, it's a big adjustment. So there was a lot inner turbulence,
yeah,
a lot.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, thanks for letting me, and thanks for elaborating on that just so we could set the stage for
Yeah.
this. And so, as we did our work together, is there a specific now I know it's been a while since we worked together, but is there a specific moment or breakthrough that really, sticks with you, that really stuck with you over time that changed, something clicked, something changed in that moment?
Definitely. There were several of those. And I think that the biggest breakthrough for me was when you were explaining to me that our movement in our bodies has pattern, that each of us have these patterns of movement. And sometimes we're not even aware of what those patterns are.
Right.
And then you were explaining how you were asking me questions actually, and you were saying, well, when we do this with your left hip, how does your left knee feel? And how does your left foot feel? And then how does your right hip feel? And and at first I was like, what? What do you mean? But I went into my body, and I remember there was this specific movement that you had me do where I was standing on a block on my right foot, and you had my left foot just gently swinging ever so slightly like a pendulum. And then you had me just notice what was happening in my body. And that movement of the left leg swinging in alignment with my left knee and my left foot, it gave me such joy. Like I felt such deep relaxation in my body in that alignment of those three joints. And I also felt peace, like I had never really felt before.
Mm,
And then you had me compare it to my right side, and I was kind of shocked at how different the feelings were. In my right side, was really aware of a lot of tension
mm,
and and stress. And then on this left side, it just felt like, oh, we just got off the merry-go-round, and isn't this fun? And and so I I think that there were so let me recap on a couple of breakthroughs. One is that we have patterns of each of us has patterns of movement in our body. And I think that in our work together, one of the things that I discovered, and I don't know if I even fully shared this with you, is that I was holding a lot of anger in my body.
mm,
I was angry at my neuropathy. I was angry that my hips didn't last me through the end days of my life. I was angry that I had this surgery that, I mean, it was needed and all of it was good, but, you know, and I was like, wow, this isn't really healthy for me to hold this anger here.
mm,
And then that anger was actually helping to create these patterns that I wasn't really aware of until our work together of pushing my body
mm,
through, like, buckle up, girl. Let's get moving. Like, why can't you do it better? Or why can't you do this movement with more range of motion? And so I that was really worthy of exploring,
mm.
right?
Yeah.
The anger coupled with the patterns of overdoing a joint movement, and then really understanding that micro movements, these little movements that you taught me, like doing the balls on my feet, right? And a lot of the other different movements, I experienced relief in a way that I hadn't really ever felt in my body. And anyway, I mean, that like touched my heart. It also touched my body. And it was like, oh, I don't have to do these big, gigantic range of motion things. I can start small and I can meet my body where she needs to be met
Mm.
instead of ignoring her.
Well, that really touches me too. I mean, because that is such I think that's a really you're not alone in that pattern. I've held that pattern. Other people have held that pattern. It's so prevalent. And I wonder, just because of my own experience, I'm just wondering, has that pattern recognition also gone into other parts of your life? Because what people notice a lot of times is that if they're doing that to their bodies, sometimes that's a pattern in their life as well. And so when they start unwinding it in their body and start moving without compensation or pushing, then they see how that happens in the rest of their life and they stop doing it in the rest of their life. And I don't know if that's something you noticed or not. I'm just curious.
Now that you kind of bring that up, I think that I have a tendency sometimes to not listen to my intuition. So you could say that is a replication of not listening to my body, right? Not listening to the body and then overdoing. And so not listening to my intuition and then saying yes when I want to say no.
Yeah.
That's a good, I think, parallel.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that I've taken away from our work together is that I have noticed, or if I can always course correct, right? I can always come back and say, "Oh, I've changed my mind. My boundaries are tighter."
Yeah.
Because I have been more gentle with my body in different movements, I can also be more gentle with my spirit in what is feeding my soul.
Mm.
And so for me, for me, I think that's a pretty good parallel is I have brought a softening to myself, more compassion, more love.
Yeah.
And that's been a really positive thing just out of learning the patterns of movement in my body and what emotions those patterns are holding.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I know that you were a big hiker and you are a big hiker. And I wonder just to have you noticed, like, so there's this emotional component, and that's absolutely true. And I wonder, have you noticed any changes in your body, in how your body is responding or any pain patterns? Have you noticed any changes that have lasted, that have been, this is the new normal?
Absolutely. I feel stronger.
Mm.
I feel that my strength has improved so much by doing the reverse of what my initial patterns were. And so by doing the micro movements and practicing those, and then once they feel good, just to do maybe expand them a little bit more
Right.
and really to sit in the awareness of, oh, okay, this is what feels good today.
Yeah.
And, and I am an avid hiker and I feel really strong in my hiking. And I probably do these days, I don't know, 22-minute miles, 23-minute miles for elevation. And so I feel really proud of that. And I don't have pain. And the neuropathy on my feet isn't 100% gone, but it's 90% gone.
Wow.
And that's a lot.
That
And
is.
I remember we started working together too around that neuropathy piece. I had said to you, have you ever seen anybody? Do you have any clients where the neuropathy has gotten better? And you said yes. And like that gave me so much hope.
Mm.
And it takes a while because you have to keep practicing, right? But I think, yeah, one of the changes to my body too was that I started to focus on what my body can do
Mm.
instead of what she can't do.
Yeah.
And that is a big switcheroony up here.
Yeah.
And it makes all the difference. It's like, oh, well, I have feeling on this part of my foot and that part. It's not that the whole foot is numb.
Mm.
And then you just start noticing more intently when the feeling starts coming back. And
Mm.
then what does it feel like? So does that answer what you're
Absolutely,
asking?
absolutely, absolutely. I know I just threw that at you, but I out of curiosity. No, that's great. I mean, that just delights me. I am so glad because I know when we started, you really wanted to get back to that and you were really
Yeah.
concerned about the neuropathy and about your hiking and continuing to be mobile. And that is really, oh, it's so good. It's so, so good. So I am celebrating that with you.
Yeah, but it's huge. Like, thank you so much because I had this fear that I was going to be in a wheelchair because of
Mhm.
my neuropathy or using assist devices.
Yeah.
And, the only assist devices that I really would be okay using are my hiking pole.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
So, yeah, that was a great shift.
That's huge. It's huge and it makes such a big difference, right? I mean, I can just
Yeah.
see the joy that has brought you and the confidence. So that's really lovely. So if you were to say anything to somebody who's maybe hesitating or they're like, why would I do this? Or what is this? Like, what would you say to someone who has tried everything, but is not sure they want to do this and they're not sure what it is? Like, what would you say to that person?
Tell them to try it. There's no harm in trying it. And I would tell them that yoga work is energy work and it's somatic work. And for me, it was the marriage of the energy and the somatic work.
Yeah.
And that work loosens up awarenesses where we can repattern movement where the initial movements really are not serving us. And so why not explore that?
Yeah.
Because I think sometimes people can be maybe more familiar with the word yoga or hatha yoga or whatever the heated yoga is. And, they know what those things are, right?
Right.
And that can tune into the body. So people know like they can tune into the body in that way. And therapeutic yoga is is a different layer. It's like that. It's like the yoga. And for me, it felt like a mixture of regular yoga with physical therapy on top of it, or there was this meshing. But
Right.
it's really, somatic energy work. And a lot gets moved when you're aware of what you're moving and what is in alignment, what is not in alignment. And the other part, I thought, and hopefully this doesn't sound too woo woo out there, but it's really important, I think, for us to have dialogue with different parts of our body.
Oh.
And so I would tell somebody, do it, try it out.
Mm.
If other things haven't worked, what are you going to lose? However, I would try this before other things.
Well, it's been fun.
I mean, why not give it a go? And it feels like it's a cutting edge modality. At least it was for me because I really never heard of therapeutic yoga until you introduced it to me.
Yeah.
And I would come back to it. Like, if I start to have other joint problems or something, like I would definitely come back, for a tune up
Mm.
to work on something. It's really no different than what people do in psychotherapy.
Right.
You need to process or work something out maybe more cerebrally, but this process is more energy and somatic work.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's a really lovely way to put it. I like the way you put that. It really does. It helps us process things through the body, right? And I
Right.
think helps to balance our nervous system in a way that is so important for right now in particular. And when we have things happening in our body that is hard on our nervous system, right? We're activated, we get afraid.
Yeah.
So that makes so much sense. Oh, Denise, thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing your experience and
Yeah.
really delightful. And thank you. Thank you. And for those of you who are listening, you can find more at the link below at my website. Okay. Mwah.